When Hurricane Helene roared through western North Carolina, it left more than 1 million people with no water, no power, and spotty cell service. But as Skyler Henry reports in tonight's Eye on America, what they did have was the radio.
Coley Duffy isn't a full-time tree trimmer by trade. Neither are most of these men. But when Helene's floodwaters destroyed western North Carolina, they jumped in to lend a hand, or in this case, a chainsaw.
We just started listening to the radio, and the radio was our only way of communication. We had no cell phone service. Nobody did.
And what service there was spotty at best. When people were able to make a call, they got word to the best megaphone in western North Carolina.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the rescue, recovery, and relief operation.
In the middle of this modern climate change disaster, the calls for help were answered old school.
Well, I'm trying to get a hold of my aunt and uncle out in Weaverville, and I can't get a hold of them.
For days, WWNC's AM radio host Mark Starling and his producer Tank Spencer served as a proxy dispatch service, helping to coordinate wellness checks and connect the stranded with nearby resources.
I want to put you back on hold so that Tank can get your phone number. We didn't have any connection to the outside world except our radio stations, and we were the only two here, so we kind of had a mission of like, okay, well, we've got to walk these people through the storm.
You all must have been inundated with phone calls.
We were, and the phone calls got progressively scarier and scarier.
Which meant dealing with the widest range of emotions you could possibly imagine.
We got the call from a guy that was on the second floor of his house.
Our first floor is flooded up to about 4 feet, and we're upstairs. We're safe, but my Ram truck is underwater.
Listen, do us a favor and keep our phone number handy, okay? And when we hung up, he's going to be there. Everything's going to be fine. Like, it's going to be fine. Everything wasn't fine.
The caller, his wife, and their 7-year-old grandson were all swept away.
That was a hard one. It's still a hard one. Mm-hmm. I can hear this phone call in my head.
And then, well, at the other end of the spectrum, there was this reunion for Starling.
Brandy?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
This is my wife for anybody that's listening.
We just left.
It's so good to
All
hear
right.
your voice.
These guys have been a guiding light on top of the radio tower for so many in the mountains of North Carolina.
One of the memorable phone calls that we had was when a guy called in and he says, you know, today's the first day that I've gone and checked on all my neighbors and I didn't even ask who they voted for first.
Well, this is the realest radio has ever been. Yeah. And we're connecting with people in a way that most people don't ever get to connect with their audience because this is our family.
Our good buddy Coley from the Chainsaw Brothers.
Hey, Coley!
Coley, what's going on?
And like many families, knit tighter through trauma. For Eye on America, Skyler Henry in Asheville, North Carolina.